In the dead of night, when shadows danced with the moonlight deep within the ancient embrace of England's Rendlesham Forest, a place steeped in folklore and mystery, something was terribly wrong. An unsettling presence permeated the air. These were not ordinary woods, not just a collection of trees and undergrowth, but the buffer, a critical strategic zone between two vital American air bases. RAF Bentwaters, a hub of military activity, and RAF Woodbridge, both keystones in the Cold War defense network. The men patrolling here, the vigilant guardians of these strategic assets, were United States Air Force security, trained for Cold War threats, prepared for any conventional assault, not the unknown, not something that defied their training and understanding. In December 1980, as the winter solstice approached, these hardened soldiers, men of logic and discipline, faced something that defied all logic. Something that challenged the very fabric of their reality. The fear they felt wasn't of a human enemy, a tangible foe they could confront, but of an entity, an inexplicable presence, moving with impossible grace through the trees. These bases were vital, cornerstones of Western defense, housing tactical fighter wings, ready to respond at a moment's notice, and nuclear weapons, the ultimate deterrent. Security was absolute, nothing was left to chance. Every shadow was watched with unwavering vigilance, every sound scrutinized, analyzed for any hint of danger. The airmen lived under the constant threat of global war, a world on a knife's edge, trained to respond to any incursion with lethal force, to defend their bases and their nations. Their world was one of clear enemies and strict protocols, a world of black and white, no room for fantasy, no space for the unexplainable. But the events of late December shattered that certainty, ripped apart the veil of the known, replacing it with a mystery no manual could explain, a puzzle that defied all conventional solutions. What descended on Rendlesham wasn't a Soviet bomber or drone, a threat they understood. It was a phenomenon witnessed by dozens of credible individuals, tracked on radar, defying known physics, and documented in official reports, now declassified but still shrouded in questions. The incident became known as Britain's Roswell, a name that echoes through the years, one of the most credible and baffling UFO encounters in history, a chilling reminder that some mysteries remain unsolved. The credibility of the Rendlesham Forest incident, a case that has captivated imaginations for decades, rests heavily on the accounts of its witnesses, individuals who were present and directly involved in the unfolding events. These weren't just any observers, they were disciplined U.S. Air Force personnel, trained to observe, report, and follow protocol. The first to encounter the strange, unexplained lights in the dark expanse of Rendlesham Forest were Airman John Burroughs, a young but dedicated member of the security team, and Staff Sergeant Bud Steffens, a non-commissioned officer responsible for maintaining order and security, tasked with the critical job of guarding the base perimeter, ensuring no unauthorized access. They promptly reported the unusual lights and initiated an investigation, venturing into the woods to ascertain the source. Soon after, they were joined by Staff Sergeant Jim Peniston, a seasoned airman, a respected supervisor known for his level-headedness and attention to detail. Peniston's detailed and meticulously documented account of a close encounter, involving physical interaction with a structured craft, remains one of the most astounding and debated testimonies associated with the Rendlesham Forest case. Further bolstering these accounts, radar operators stationed at both Bentwaters and nearby RAF Watton tracked the movement of an unidentified object in the skies above the forest, thereby confirming that the phenomenon wasn't simply a visual illusion or misinterpretation of known objects. Their technical corroboration, providing hard data to support the eyewitness accounts, elevated the incident from a local curiosity to a potential breach of national security and airspace violation. Perhaps the most significant figure in this narrative is Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt, a high-ranking officer with a distinguished career. Halt was a career officer known for his pragmatism and skepticism towards extraordinary claims. However, when the reports persisted and the situation escalated, Lieutenant Colonel Halt himself led an investigative team into the depths of Rendlesham Forest, initially with the intent of finding a rational explanation and debunking what he believed were exaggerated claims. His subsequent transformation from a staunch skeptic to a key witness, reporting first-hand observations, was meticulously captured in a real-time audio recording made during the investigation, and this recording is absolutely central to the event's enduring credibility and the ongoing debate surrounding it. The story begins in the early hours of December 26, 1980. Security patrolmen near RAF Woodbridge's East Gate saw unusual, vibrant lights descending into Rendlesham Forest. Believing it could be a downed aircraft, Airmen Burrows and Peniston entered the woods. In a silent clearing they found a small triangular craft, matte black, with strange markings, bathed in multicolored light. Peniston approached, touched its cool surface and took notes. Suddenly the object lifted off silently, vanishing into the night sky at impossible speed. The airmen, stunned, reported the encounter. Investigators found 3 landing impressions and elevated radiation at the site. The physical evidence suggested something extraordinary had landed. This was no ordinary sighting. It left behind proof. The mystery deepened. 2 nights later, the phenomenon returned. Reports of strange lights reached Lieutenant Colonel Halt, who, skeptical, led a team into the forest to debunk the story. Armed with a cassette recorder and radiation detector, Halt found the landing impressions and confirmed elevated radiation. As they pressed deeper, they saw a pulsating red light moving through the trees, leading them on a tense chase. The light performed impossible maneuvers, then shot into the sky, joining other objects. Halt and his men watched as these lights projected beams down toward the base's weapons storage area. What began as a debunking mission became a first-hand encounter with the unexplained. Halt's skepticism was shattered. The most compelling evidence, the kind that sends shivers down your spine, is Colonel Halt's real-time audio recording, famously known as the Halt tape, a truly remarkable piece of documentation. On the tape, Halt's calm, professional demeanor slowly gives way to a mixture of awe and growing confusion as he methodically directs his team through the darkened forest and attempts to describe the bizarre, unexplainable lights dancing in the sky. "I see it too. It's definitely coming this way," he says, his voice betraying a hint of unease, his voice tense with a palpable sense of urgency. The tape chillingly captures the object's silent, almost impossible movements across the night sky, and the increasingly rapid clicks of the Geiger counter as it registers a spike in radiation levels. The most dramatic moment comes when beams of light are projected from the unidentified objects, relentlessly sweeping the forest floor and, most alarmingly, the highly sensitive weapons storage area. This was clearly not passive observation, it was an active and undeniably intrusive event, leaving no room for doubt. The Halt tape, with all its unsettling implications, became a crucial part of the official evidence gathered and was later declassified and released to the public, fueling further speculation and debate. Its undeniable authenticity and the immediacy of the recording make it a truly chilling and compelling record of the encounter. Listening to it today, you can hear the voices of highly trained military men, struggling to process and confront the unbelievable events unfolding before their very eyes. Their voices, captured on that tape, continue to echo the enduring mystery that shrouds Rendlesham Forest to this day. After the events, Colonel Halt filed a formal report, the Halt memo, detailing the sightings, landing site, radiation, and aerial maneuvers. Released to the public, the memo confirmed the incident was real and taken seriously at the highest levels. Its dry, official tone only amplifies its extraordinary content. Over the years, more evidence surfaced. Declassified footage, corroborating radar data, and consistent witness testimony. No official explanation accounts for all the phenomena: lights, radar, physical traces, and the Halt tape. Skeptics point to the Orford Ness Lighthouse, but this fails to explain the full scope of evidence. The declassified documents prove something happened. The truth remains elusive. Today, Rendlesham Forest is quiet, but its mystery endures. A UFO trail marks the site, drawing visitors to where the extraordinary unfolded. The credibility of the witnesses, disciplined U.S. Air Force personnel, remains unshaken after decades. Their evidence: official memos, audio recordings, radiation readings, and ground traces. The incident was documented, reported, and investigated as a serious military event. Yet, for many, the story is too fantastic to accept. It challenges our understanding of reality and our place in the universe. We trust military personnel with our security and weapons. If these respected men stand by their story, why is it so hard to believe what they saw was real? The question lingers, as mysterious as the lights that once haunted Rendlesham Forest.